What's up, everybody? This is Jack from Crypto 49er, bringing you my knowledge in cryptocurrency. So today I want to talk about the RSI bull bear with ADX strategy. So this is pretty much going to be a deep dive in how the ADX indicator works within the RSI bull bear strategy. But before I do, I want to give away that $10 on Steemit. So now whoever answered this question correctly will be getting the $10 from me. So I give away $5 every Friday. So last week, no one was able to answer the trivia questions. So last week's giveaway amount was moved to this week. Alright, anyway, the question is, name the trading bot that was hacked that I spoke about in the past. The answer is this. If you follow me long enough, and this is quite a bit of a while ago, this is 3 months ago now, or at least according to Steemit. So it was CoinCube that was hacked. CoinCube is a trading bot that uses your API keys for different exchanges that you give them. I'm not sure they support Binance. I don't think they support Binance last I checked. Maybe they do now, but they need your API keys and then they manage trades for you. So this is a trading bot that holds your API keys. They fixed the problem now, so they are supposedly safe. But me personally, I do not trust them. And I do not trust any trading bot that I have to give my API keys to them because you don't really know how secure they can lock down those API keys. I mean, even Twitter just recently announced that as much as they securely stole your password, they screwed up and then now everyone has to reset their Twitter password. Same situation with the API keys, I feel like. So it's best not to give them out. So anyway, let's see who won. So let's go in here. Gekko backtest is to the Wednesday's post. Okay, so I actually don't see anybody that answered CoinCube as the correct answer. So that means no one won this week's giveaway. So what that means is next week I will be giving away $15. Hopefully I will find something a little bit less challenging, I guess, so that you guys can actually win this giveaway from me. Anyway, on to today's topic. So the best way to understand how this strategy works is to dive into the code. I think that's my belief is the best way to understand it. So right now what I did was I went through the code and I added comments so that I can explain to you guys what it does. And really the only section that you really have to look into is the check function because all the other functions are almost the same, if not exactly the same as the RSI bull bear function. In the check function here, the first thing it does is gets all the indicators, right? So it gets the fast moving average indicator, it gets the slow moving average indicator, it gets the RSI, and it gets the ADX. The RSI is left blank, and you'll see why later. So first thing it does is goes and check if it's a bear trend, and it says if fast SMA is lower than the slow SMA or less than. So on the graph, you see the fast SMA coming down below the slow SMA, which is on top. So that's how you see on the graph. So now, if that happens, that means that we're in a bear trend. And if we're in the bear trend, it's going to assign the bear RSI. Because again, this strategy uses two RSI settings. So it uses the bear RSI and the bull RSI based on the settings that you put in the TOML file. The bull RSI has a 24 interval RSI setting, and the bear RSI has a 25 interval RSI setting. So right now we're assigning the RSI to the bear RSI setting, which is 25 interval. And then the high and low, we're also assigning from the bear. So the bear has a 56 for the high and 13 for the low. So that's what we're doing right now for the first couple of statements. After that, it goes and checks the ADX. So if the current ADX is greater than the settings ADX high. So again, the settings ADX high right now is at 90. So I said yesterday it was a nonsensical number to me because I was looking at it, but I'll explain to you once we get to the charts. So right now, if it's greater than 90, then what it does is we add the bear mod high to the RSI high. So basically RSI high again right now it is at 56 for the bear. So we're going to add the mod high, which is 20, to the bear high, which is 56. That'll make it 76. So essentially what this does is if it's a strong trend, so again the ADX just checks the trend, doesn't check anything else, just checks the trend. If it's a strong trend, the RSI has to be even higher to sell. and you'll see that in a couple of statements down. So now the opposite happens. Else, if the current ADX is lower than the settings ADX low, so if the current ADX is lower than 30, then we add the bear mod low to the RSI low. So the RSI low again is at 13. And we're going to add the bear mod low, which is -8. So 13 plus -8 is 5. So we're going to make the RSI low to 5 if we're going to go into this. Yeah, if there is no trend, or if there's a weak trend, no trend, then RSI has to be even lower to buy. And then that's what's defined in the next two statements over here. When do we buy and sell? So in here, if the RSI is greater than the RSI high, then we sell. So now the RSI high, if it was modded by the ADX, it would be 76. So the RSI had to reach over 76. So the RSI had to be 77 or above for us to sell. And now, similarly, if we're in a weak trend and ADX mods the RSI low, so the RSI has to be less than 5 in order for us to buy into the market. So this is how the strategy works. And now that I read the bear trend, it's exactly the opposite with the bull trend. Instead of adding the bear stuff, you use the bull settings and you add the bull to the with the mod high if the ADX is a high trend. So the 80 becomes 87. And then the low, it will be 41, becomes 33. So again, all these settings were based on settings that I got from the forum, from the Gekko forum, and I just kind of played around with it and just based off of that to then use these particular settings. Doesn't mean these settings correct for the particular trade period I'm using. It is just the settings that I got from the forum. These are not the default settings. So, but that's basically it in terms of how this strategy works. So again, this strategy makes it more difficult to sell and more difficult to buy when there's a strong trend or when there's a weak trend. So now let's go to TradingView to show you how it works over there. Okay, so now we're in TradingView. I want to show you how this strategy works visually. So right now, you see that the top portion right here, I have the price charted, and I have two SMA lines. I have the fast and slow. So the blue line is the fast and the orange lines are slow. As you can see on the right side here where I have the TOML file, it lists all the settings that we currently have for the ADX bull bear strategy. Again, these settings and parameters are not the default. These are the ones I got from the Gekko forum. In here, again, you see the long is 250, which is matched to the orange line. The short is 20, which is matched to the blue line. And the other ones, that the ADX over here, I haven't configured it yet. And also the RSI, I haven't configured yet. These are just the default of the ADX and the RSI that comes when you enable them in TradingView. So on the bottom right here, you see that I have the Pine editor open. The reason why I have the Pine editor open is because TradingView, the free account, will only let you have 3 active indicators. So right now I have 4 technically because I have 2 SMA lines, a ADX, and the RSI. So what I basically do is to have to get around and cheat slightly by putting 2 SMA lines into 1 indicator. And that's what I'm showing the bottom right here. So I previously made a video on how to do exactly this so that you can have more than 3 indicators. Hopefully I'll remember to include a link to that video if you guys want to know how to do that. But this is the general idea. If you guys want a quick way out, just copy these lines and put them into your chart and you'll be able to have at least these 4 indicators that you need to show how this strategy works. So now that I added these blue and orange line, I actually don't need it anymore down here in the Pine editor. The reason why I still have the Pine editor open is because I want to delete them and be able to add the check function that the RSI bull bear ADX strategy uses. So you can see how this strategy is working. Again, this section here is not going to work obviously because it's different languages. This strategy uses JavaScript and TradingView uses Pine. The only reason I'm adding it over here is so that we can reference everything on one screen. Now you see the check function below and the TOML file on the right side. Let's go ahead and pick an area that we want to test against. So basically, the first thing, let's go test against the bull market, for example. Let's say that what will happen at this particular candle right here at $709.62 at this particular candle. Let's see what actually happens in terms of how this strategy will work. Will it actually sell at that particular price? I mean, optimally, we would want it to sell at that price because this is the highest point for this particular time frame around April 24, the week of April 24. Because after this, it's gonna fall, and it's gonna fall a lot. So it's gonna fall over 100 points. So 709.62. So let's go ahead and copy this right over here into the current price value, 709.62. And then at the same time, we need to know the RSI and the ADX as well. So now we have to adjust the ADX and the RSI because right now they're defaults. So ADX is at 14 intervals. So what we have in the parameters is a 3 interval ADX. So we can go ahead and do settings, go to inputs, and change that from 14 to 3. And you see immediately, yesterday I said that the 90 for the high for ADX is nonsensical to me because I'm like, I never seen that on a chart. Well, I'm proven wrong again because if you shorten the interval for ADX, you get a lot more 90s. Like over here, 99.40. All of them are over 90 something, and it happens very often as you see so many spikes going on over here, so that the ADX can get very high in a shorter interval. So these are the things that you have to know in order for you to be able to program the strategy properly. So at that point in time, the ADX at 709.62 was 84.34. We'll just cut off the last two. So it's 84.34. And then the RSI, same thing. We have to configure it. So the RSI, currently, again, you can see this particular strategy has two different RSI setup. So the RSI bull setup and the RSI bear setup has two different intervals. Again, the bull uses 24 intervals. The bear uses 25 intervals. So let's go ahead, because right now we're in bull trend, because again, the blue line is above the orange line. The fast SMA is above the slow SMA. So it's in a bull trend. So we're going to use a bull RSI. So we're going to go in here and edit it. So we're going to change the length from 14 to 24. And also, we can also change the high and low as well. Because right now the default is obviously 30 and 70. We're going to change the default high and lows from 70 to 80. And from 30 to 41. And you immediately see it looks quite a bit different. So again, the idea with this strategy is it will sell when it passes this RSI level, unless the ADX modifies the RSI. And again, it will buy when it dips below this level. And again, depends on the ADX. Let's go ahead and go back here. So at 709.62, the RSI is at 78.34. So we're going to put that in here. So now we need to go through the check function. So it goes through and adds all the indicators. So adds the slow and fast, which we already have, the RSI, the ADX, and then it goes to the first if condition. So if fast SMA is less than the slow SMA, which is not the case, so this is for the bear trend. Again, we're not doing the bear trend, we're doing the bull trend, so we're going to skip all the way down to else, bull trend. Okay, so now we're going to set the RSI to equal to the bull setting. So again, it is RSI to 24 interval. So the RSI high equals to the bull.high, which is 80. And the bull.low was 41. So we have all that set. Now we check the ADX. So again, if the ADX is greater than the settings for ADX.high, then we're going to add the mod high into the RSI high. So is it greater? Right now the current ADX is 84.34. And then our high ADX is 90. So the ADX is not greater than the high, so we're not going to add it. Let's see if we're modifying the low. So if ADX is less than ADX low, so ADX right now is 84. Is it less than the ADX low? No, definitely not. So again, we're not modifying the RSI low. The next thing is we're going to check if we're going to buy or sell at this current candle. So at this current candle, it's going to be if RSI is greater than RSI high, then we sell. So again, the RSI is at 78, and is it greater than the RSI high? No, so we don't sell. And then we check, is the RSI less than the RSI low? So it's 8, the RSI is at 78, the RSI low is at 41. No, it's not, so we don't buy either. So that's basically it with this candle. And that's how you can tell what it's going to do, what this strategy is going to do at this particular candle at 70962. So it doesn't do anything with this candle. It will just go through the process. So it's a little tricky. I guess one thing you can do is check to confirm it actually sells at something like this, at this particular candle here, for example, when the RSI is at extremely high and it should be issuing a sell call. So let's go ahead and check that at 656.98. So at 656.98, the RSI is 88.09 and the ADX is 97.01. We go through the bull trend again. So in here, the bull trend, we set the indicators up and then we check the ADX. If the ADX is greater than the high, is it greater? Obviously it is this time because it's 97 compared to 90. So we're going to go ahead and modify the RSI high by adding to the bull mod. So the bull mod is 7. So we're going to make 80 into 87 because 80 plus 7 is 87. And then are we modifying the RSI low? Most likely not, just because the ADX is definitely not lower, it's at 97. So we're not going to look at that. So now we're going to check this again. If RSI is greater than the RSI high, so is RSI greater than RSI's high still? Yes. Even with the modification from the ADX, the RSI is still higher than the RSI high, so that we're going to issue this sell call. So this dot short is going to be called, and we're going to issue a sell signal. So let's say signal equals sell. And that's basically it. So we'll sell at that price point. So you can see that's when it actually sells. So that's what it does. So you can see based on this, you don't really have to go through the whole entire process too deeply, but you have a general idea when is it going to buy. It's going to buy in here, and it won't sell because it won't find any higher until, but then again it switches. So it switches trend. It'll buy right here, but then you're going to end up holding bags because you're buying at the bull trend, because again the blue line is above the orange line. So you're buying at the bull trend right here, but then it's gonna switch to the bear trend because when it sells, it has to switch to the bear trend. So we can switch the bear trend on the RSI just to see how it looks like. So the bear trend again is 56 for the high, 13 for the low, and the inputs is 25. Make sure that's kept it. Okay. All right. So now once we bought it around up there, I think, yeah, it was actually right here. So when's it gonna sell it? So the next time you sell it, it's actually over here. So this is at 66. Is it gonna guarantee to sell? It might or might not. It depends, because again, the ADX is very high. It's at 91. And you can mod the RSI high for the bull from 56, and you can add 20. So it's gonna be 76. So you're not gonna sell here as well. It probably will sell here, yeah. So it's going to sell right around here. So it doesn't hold through the entire bear trend, because you can see right here, the RSI is at 56. So it's 56.28, which is greater than 56 for the RSI high for the bear market. But then the ADX is only 19. So it's pretty low. So at this point, the ADX, there's no trend for it. So that means it's going to not modify the RSI high, and it's just going to sell at this price. So yeah, you're essentially going to take a loss. So that's why this strategy will end up causing some serious losses, because it is willing to take those losses based on the strategy and how it works. But that's the general idea of how to understand the strategy visually and how to determine when it issues buy signal and when it issues sell signals. So the bottom line is this. The settings found via genetic algorithmic backtesting. These are settings that I got from the Gekko forum, because there were a lot of other people that tested, including the creator of the strategy, Tommy Hansen. But Tommy Hansen, I think, and JVS were two that I remember that used genetic algorithmic backtesting to determine what's the best settings to use with the strategy. Those settings might sound nonsensical at first glance, but they really do work if applied correctly. In addition, since they're not default settings that most people will use to read these indicators, there's potential that these bots have the upper edge when using these indicators. So the question comes down to now is, do you think each of these bots that we have up and running will compete against each other and cause the bots to not perform as well? There's always a possibility, but I think people will always continuously tune the bots to the latest data that they have. So I really don't think that will happen, where the bots will end up fighting each other and all the bots will end up getting a little bit less profit. I just think that there are enough differences. First of all, there's probably not enough bots out there, A, and B, there's probably a lot of differences in the different settings that people use for their bots. So that's my guess. I don't have any way to confirm this, but I'm probably 99% sure that there are definitely less bots than people. And what these bots do are really just beating out the people first and foremost. So that's why I think that strategy like these are performing so well compared to the market overall. So anyway guys, that's my video for today. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Upvote, re-steam, and follow me if you're new to the channel. If it isn't crypto, it isn't worth mining, it isn't worth speculating. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.